What's up, gorgeous people? This is Amazon's DIY and other stuff. I'm Amber and it's April. So April is Autism Acceptance Month, and in this video I am part of a collab with many other people who will be talking about autism. So what we decided to do with the collab this time is we have, I think it's 5 people that will be posting on the first Monday, and then we'll have 5 more people on the second Monday, so on and so forth, throughout the entire month of April. So you guys are going to get lots of great information about autism. So I highly encourage you to check out all of the channels who are part of this collab. Again, there'll be about 5 channels each and every single Monday during this month. So please make sure that you guys check them out. I'll have links to their channels in my description box below. So you guys, I've covered the facts about autism and the statistics about autism so many times on this channel, and I just don't want to do that this time. What I'm going to do this time for this video is just tell you about how things are going with my son. So my son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. And at that time, he was talking, but he wasn't talking excessively. He's always struggled with explaining what it is that he wants. So he kind of lets you know those things through motion, hand gestures, or something like that, so that you know what it is that he's looking for. Well, my son, I was so scared to send him to preschool, knowing that my son does not have the ability to communicate like everybody else, and not everybody's going to understand what he needs, what he wants, and I wouldn't be there just terrified me. I mean, honestly, it absolutely terrified me. So I opted to not send him to preschool. But when we got into, when he was 5 years old and it was time for kindergarten, I have no choice. I mean, by law, I have to send him to school, or I'm going to have to homeschool him. Well, honestly, I'm not going to lie. The thought of homeschooling him did cross my mind for a brief second. And I say a brief second because then I thought to myself almost instantaneously when I thought that, I was like, is that going to be beneficial for him? I would be doing that for myself, for my own peace of mind, letting me know that I'm here with him. I'm taking care of him. I know he has everything that he needs. But he's not getting exposure to other people. He's not getting exposure to other kids because he is an only child. So is that going to be beneficial for him? So instantly I told myself, no, you're doing this 100% for yourself. You're not giving your son the best foot forward. So obviously I enrolled him in school in, the public school that we have here where I live. And guys, wow. I cannot tell you how much being in school and being around other children has helped my son. So for those of you who don't know, autism is not a degenerative condition. You always improve. Like, you always get better. Wherever you are on the spectrum, you're always going to improve. You're never going to get worse, so to speak, or, decrease in your abilities to communicate. So my son, when he started going to school, started paying attention to what the other kids were doing. He made friends. I was so happy to hear that he has friends. I was very concerned about that because when somebody's different, a lot of kids can be very mean. Now, granted, they're 5 years old, 5 and 6 years old in kindergarten. So they're not that old, and they really haven't had the chance to be exposed to people being really mean and nasty. I guess that happens more in the teenage years. So things are going great. I mean, my son has come leaps and bounds from where he started when he started the school year to now. I mean, now he's starting to tell me about his day at school. Now, this just started, but that is an exciting step for him. He's never done that before. Like, he'll start the whole day and he goes into great detail. Like, he will sit and have the conversation that he had with somebody else with you again, and also say what that other person said. So that's how detailed he is when he explains everything. But I love it. I love it. And I am so glad that, I decided that the best thing obviously would be to do what's best for him and not what was best for me, my peace of mind, keeping him home so that I knew that he was safe, right? So in school, he has been communicating better. And then just recently, we've had some behavioral issues with him. Now, understand, my son still does not have the ability to communicate like you and I. He can't always tell you exactly what he wants. He's doing far better than he was when he started school. He's able to start telling you those things, but he's still not quite there yet. Like, he can't sit and have a conversation like you could with somebody else who may not be on the autism spectrum, if you guys know what I'm saying. So at any rate, recently at school, we've been having some behavioral issues, and I think that was due to the fact my son's not potty trained, okay? He has just been fighting it tooth and nail. And that was another reason why I didn't want to send him to school, because honestly, guys, I'm not very comfortable having some strange person that I've never met before change my child, if you get where I'm going with that, okay? But I've met the lady. She's very, very sweet. She's a very nice lady, and I like her very much. But, you know, when he started school, I knew nothing about her, and I didn't even know who was going to be changing him, right? And let's face it, she's not at school all the time. So sometimes people fill in, and there's people that fill in to change him that I may not know. Okay, so these things just weigh on my mind. But at any rate, just recently, and I kept telling his dad this, I said, listen, for kids, any kids, whether they're on the autism spectrum or not, any kid, one day it just clicks. Like all of a sudden they're just ready to do it. They're ready to go. Okay. So we just have to wait for that day, continue working with him until then, but you can't force it. Right. So we were having some behavioral issues at school where he was giving the aide trouble when she was trying to change him. Like he would squirm all over the place, and just like, it was just like a big uncomfortable or awkward thing for him all of a sudden, if you guys see where I'm going with that. And then one day I get a phone call. Well, no, I'm sorry. I got a message from the teacher, and that he actually peed on the aide and all over his clothes and all over everything else. Okay. So I'm taking that as, listen, I think that he's just ready. He is ready to use the potty. Can we send him to the bathroom? The problem with my son's school is that it's all women. 100% women except for the resource officer, right? So the women are not allowed to go into the boys' bathroom, all right? So nobody can go in and help him and make sure that he's doing the things that he needs to be doing in the restroom. So that's a big problem. So there was a responsible boy. Well, there's actually 2 responsible boys that she has in the classroom that she felt comfortable sending him to the restroom with, and they could report back what he did or didn't do, right? So at first, when they started sending him, he would sit on the toilet with his clothes on, and then go and wash his hands. So he didn't do anything for the first good bit while he was, you know, doing that. And then this lasted for maybe a few weeks, I want to say. And then just literally just this past weekend, he just put it all together. And he just started using the potty full on all the time. Now, granted, it's difficult right now because he's wanting to do it like every few minutes. Like every time he feels like he has to pee, he wants to go because he doesn't want to go in his pants. He has to learn the concept of holding it. But hey, we're there. He is full blown using the potty, and that is really exciting, right? So I think that the communication that he was trying to do for us, letting us know that he was ready to do that and to please like start working with him more on it, was acting out behaviorally, that doing things that he normally doesn't do. That's very out of character for him. But I thought that's what it was. I talked to the teacher, and she also agreed with me. And then she then spoke to the aide, just explaining what was going on, and maybe we should start sending to the restroom, so on and so forth. And look at where we are, guys. We're talking within a few weeks, he's already using the potty, ready to go. Okay. And that was just from the instant that he started these behavioral issues to now. Okay. So I cannot tell you guys how great school has been for my son, and how happy I am that everybody in the school has accepted him, and they love him, and he's really coming leaps and bounds and doing so great. He literally has, well, in kindergarten they grade like an S, a P, and a U. He has an S plus in every academic subject in his for his class. Every academic subject he has an S plus. Now, where he has the P's and the U's is he doesn't work neatly, he doesn't work quietly, he doesn't work independently, okay? So he still has a lot of issues and a lot of things that he's working through, but honestly, I think that we're going to get him there. So what I would say to a parent who has a child that they feel could be on the autism spectrum, or who has a new parent that just found out that their child's on the autism spectrum, take a breath. Everything is going to be okay. Early intervention is the most important thing with autism, okay? So as soon as you notice the signs, do not find yourself being in denial. Don't do that to your child, okay? I cannot stress that enough. His dad was in denial at first. I saw the signs and I instantly went to his pediatrician, and then I had to fight tooth and nail, which I don't understand why the system works that way. But at any rate, I had to fight tooth and nail just to get him the testing. And the testing came out that he did have autism, which I was certain that he did, because I have a nephew who's on the spectrum. He was doing a lot of similar things that my nephew does. But autism spectrum is huge, guys. I mean, it is ginormous. People fall in different places on the spectrum. So not every case is exactly the same. They're actually all very different in many different ways, okay? So some of the signs will be there. just make sure that you get your child tested. And if the pediatrician did what mine did, because my son is actually high functioning, okay? Granted, his communication isn't 100% there, but he's still high functioning. And a high functioning child who's on the autism spectrum, oftentimes that gets missed. And that could be detrimental to your kid, because if you get them tested, you find out that they are on the spectrum, then you can get them the help that they need at school and at home to help them succeed and be independent when they're older. I can't tell you how important that is. So don't find yourself being in denial. Just go get them tested. And when you get them tested, guys, it's honestly not a terrible thing. It's not at all a terrible thing. You know, as soon as they told me, I was like, okay, what can we do to help him communicate effectively? That's where my head went. I'm like, what do we got to do? You know, so we just went through the steps, speech therapy and all this other stuff. Okay. So what I'm trying to get out to you guys is, first of all, don't be in denial. Always, always, always do what's best for your kid. Don't do what's going to give you the best peace of mind. Do what's best for your kid. And I promise you, you will not regret it. You will find that your child will grow and prosper and set themselves and be setting them up to succeed in life. Okay. And that's what we want all of our children to do. So that's all I really wanted to talk about, you guys, just to give you guys an update on how my son is doing and my journey thus far. And I can tell you guys, it has been fantastic since he's been in school. You know, and I'm very present at the school, if you guys get what I'm saying. They know who I am. They know who my kid is. And a lot of people know who I am and know who my kid is. And they're not even his teacher or in his, you know, they don't have anything to do with his grade level. That's how present I am at the school. Be present for your kid. Okay. Cannot stress that enough. If you have a child like I do who lacks the ability to communicate effectively, make sure you're present, because I got no problem communicating. Okay. No one is going to take advantage of my son, and nobody is going to do anything out of line with my son. I'm at that school so much. I do not feel anything like that would ever happen. And if it did, trust me, then I'm a little fireball and nobody wants to deal with me. Okay. So just be present. All right. Be present for your kids and just make sure that you are doing everything that you possibly can to help them succeed. All right, guys, last thing. He's in T-ball as well. I enrolled him in T-ball. He was his first practice, and it was a disaster. It was like a total disaster. But it wasn't a total disaster for just him. It was a disaster for literally every single kid that was there. So I didn't feel bad at all. So we'll see how this T-ball thing goes. The most important thing is he had fun. You know, he had a lot of fun at the T-ball practice. So I think it's going to be something that's fun for him and another way to help him grow, you know. And if I found that he didn't like the T-ball, or because he will voice that to me, whether he likes something or doesn't like something, then obviously I would not force him to do it. All right. So just listen to your kids, you know. Even if he couldn't say yes, no, that he didn't like it, you could tell by the way your kid is acting whether or not they're enjoying an activity. So don't force them into the activity for yourself. Again, let them do things that they enjoy. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. And again, please make sure that you guys check everybody out who is being part of this collab. There will be plethora of information and stories that people are sharing. So I highly encourage you to check out all of the channels. If you want to learn about a little bit more about autism, I highly suggest that you do that. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hearing my updates on my son, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye! I'm Amber, and in this video, I want to talk about why the hair is flying all through the hair. Hold on. I'm Amber, and in this video, we are going to talk about my son and how he is doing since he started school. That doesn't work. I'm Amber, and it's April, and April is Autism Acceptance Month. So I'm Amber, and it's April. So April is autism. I hit this bag, and I like it sounded, so, you know, there's not going to be a bag in the video. I think that's kind of weird. Try it again. So we're going to have videos about autism throughout the month. So I highly encourage you all to check out all of the lovely ladies who are part of this collab. So yep. Boom. What's up, gorgeous people? This is Amber's. I hit the bag again. There's bags everywhere because I'm working on some stuff. Try it again.